Hey everyone, my name's Frampton. I'm a movement coach and today I'm working with MATCHESFASHION. The thing is, lately we're spending a lot of time at home and that means a lot of time like this, kind of slouching on a sofa. Look, it's important to rest, but too much of this, we can get a little bit tight. So today I'm gonna take you through 5 exercises. It's gonna take you literally 10 minutes. You don't need any equipment, maybe a mat on the floor, or if you've got carpet, perfectly fine, yeah? So it's gonna take you through 5 exercises, 2 minutes each exercise. It's gonna take you 10 minutes, you're gonna feel awesome after, and try and undo a little bit of this tightness, all right? Let's do it. So what are you gonna need for your 10 minutes? Well, a mat, if you have a wooden floor, or if you're on carpet, you might not need anything. As long as the most important is that your feet are not digging into the floor. We don't want any distractions while we're doing these stretches. Second thing you're gonna need, maybe some yoga blocks. You can buy these very cheaply online or in a shop. If you don't have blocks and you don't want to buy any, just use some books. That's my book, The Flexible Body. Little self-promo. Let's get started. So your 10 minutes begins now. So what we're going to first set up in is a cross-legged position. I'm going to talk you through this position. Just make sure when you're doing this, you're actually sitting within this position. Don't just watch this video. There's not a lot of information that you're going to learn without actually doing the stretches. Right, so I'm sat in a cross-legged position. What do I want to achieve? So I kind of want my knee directly above my big toe, and I want my knee directly above my big toe. Yeah, so I want this position. Now, you might find at first the knees are up a little bit higher, not a problem as long as they're going towards that direction. What's the next most important thing? The next most important thing is I don't feel any pain. I don't feel any pinching in my knee joints. I don't feel my feet digging into the floor. So make sure you're using mats, you've got blocks, books, whatever it takes to make this position a little bit more comfortable. And thirdly, we want to feel some kind of stretch. And you're going to feel stretches in all different places depending on where your body is tight. You might feel IT band, outside of the legs, the butt, the groin. Just make sure that that's not any pinching sensation, and that's where the blocks are going to come in handy. All right, so we're going to switch to the other side. Now here, we'll talk through how the blocks are going to help. So when I put blocks underneath, it's easier for me to get my back straight. Yeah, so ideally when we sit in this position, we don't want to be here, relaxed with the back rounded. We want to always prioritize the position of our spine. So I'm trying to sit on my legs, and as I sit on my legs, it will be easier for my knees and my shins to relax down. So always try this with blocks. If it's much easier for you, then you can start working towards the floor. If you're not feeling any stretch, you can keep working forwards into this position. Again, focus on trying to keep the back straight, and that was position 1. So into position 2. So this is position 2. What we're going to be doing here is sitting on our heels. And again, there's a few different options with this, so let's give this a go. So from the side, we're going to push the heels together. Again, make sure you're sat on a mat on a wooden floor. You might find the feet just dig in and it hurts and you can't really relax into the stretches. When you're in the stretches, you want to be able to relax. That's the way your body's going to stretch. So just important to have as many mats or a bit of a sofa or some cushions so you can relax as much as possible. So in this position, same as the last exercise, I want to focus on trying to get my back straight rather than this. So I'm lifting my chest, my sternum, and I'm holding this position here. Now if you don't feel any stretch here, we're going to add it a little bit more. So we're going to get a few blocks and we're going to put them in between the feet, make a little stack. In here, a test, can I keep my back straight? Do I feel any stretch? Do I feel any pain? Do I need to change position? We can start to lower the blocks. And now I'm sat in between my feet as opposed to on my feet, which is going to make the stretch a little bit more. Where should you be feeling the stretch in this exercise? Quads, hip flexors, back. You might feel the back working from holding your body upright. So again, play around with this position. Most important, if you feel any pain within the knees, then you change the position slightly or back off a little bit, focusing maybe bringing the knees in, maybe taking the knees a little bit wider. If you're a little bit more flexible, or you can get a lower book, which might take you a little bit lower. Again, as you get down, just be careful, we're not starting to round the back. focus on trying to keep the back upright. So I'm untucking my pelvis, trying to hold my back straight. So we're going to go last 10 seconds here, holding this position, making sure there's no pain, that I'm getting a decent stretch. Last few seconds. That's position 2. On to position 3. For this position, I'm going to bring one foot in like that, shin square to the mat, and then bring the other foot and tuck it under, so I'm sat in this position. What you'll find at first is you might be leaning off to the side because you can't get this hip down into the floor. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a block, shove it underneath, and that will help to get the hips square. So I've got the sole of my foot here against the side of my leg. Most important here, I'm trying to keep my hips square. On the other side, I'll show you from the side. Trying to keep the hips square, trying to keep the back upright, working this knee towards the ground, and trying to get this butt closer to the ground. Some of you are going to be a lot lower. You're going to be able to sit all the way down, managing to keep the butt on the ground. Yeah? Onto the other side. So onto the other side, flip this under, and then this shin, sole of the foot is going to hit the side of the leg. Again, you might find tilt into the position here. So again, that block's going to come in handy. She goes on the side. So you can fall into the side, so we get a block, shove that under, so it's thoroughly under the hips. You might find this knee comes up, and brings the other blocks. Yeah, making these positions as comfy as possible. And then trying to square the hips, trying to keep the chest upright. And again, play with the position. Feeling, you might feel different stretches in very different places, especially for this stretch, just because of the angles of the hip. You might feel the outside of the hip here. Here you might feel the back just from holding yourself upright. Most important is that you can relax in the stretch and we're not feeling any pain. So last 10 seconds, holding the body upright. We're past halfway. Cool. That was sit position 3. So this is position 4, sitting position 4, and this is called the half squat. So I've got this half of my body is in a squat, and this half of my body was in the large position similar to what we did on the last 2 stretches. Show you from the side. So I'm sat on my heel on this side, and I'm pulling this foot tight into the groin, trying to keep my heel down on the ground. Again, like all the exercises we've been doing today, trying to keep the back upright and flat in this position. You might feel a stretch in the Achilles of this leg, especially as we work on pushing this knee forwards. You can always focus on trying to use the floor to leverage a little bit of weight forwards so we can get a little bit more stretch in the Achilles. Yeah, show you from this side. So I'm using the floor, leveraging forwards. And as I lean forwards, I'm pushing this knee over the toes, and that will help get a stretch here. Cool, onto the other side. So this can be a little bit of an awkward one for some people. And again, like all the stretches, you want to prop up, use blocks and books to get into positions that feel easier. If I'm feeling any knee pain, I can put a block underneath, a book underneath, and get myself a little bit more comfortable. I can always put that on the back foot. Yeah, it'll make it a little bit easier, especially if you're feeling any pinching in this knee. I'm working on trying to get this knee further forward, filling this heel closer into the groin over time, working on trying to get that forward, or using the floor to press me forward, again trying to keep the back upright as opposed to rounded. Yeah, so lifting the chest, leaning forwards, and that was position 4. Cool, so well done everyone for staying with me so far. This is the final stretch to make up our 10 minutes in sitting positions. So the last one is legs out straight. This can be a very challenging one for a lot of people to try to keep the body upright. What you find in this position is at first, especially if you tighten the back of the legs, calves, hamstrings, this can feel like you just can't get your back upright. So make sure in this we've got as many blocks as you need, rather underneath, and we want to feel again like exercise 1, we're able to sit upright. And a good trick to do that is lift the chest, but also try to sit on your legs. So if you push yourself off the ground, take your butt back, then that way you can sit more upright. If you're sat on your butt, you'll look like this. If you're sat on your legs, you'll be upright or more upright. But again, this can be very dependent on how tight the back of the knees are. Yeah. So here you just want to go as wide as is comfortable. Over time you can work on going wider, or over time you can work on going more forward. Different versions of these will target different areas. So if I work on going forward, I'm more working on other hamstrings, maybe into the groin. As I go wider, I'm going to get a little bit more focus on the groin inside the knee, working down the leg. All right. So focusing on this, again, focusing on trying to lift upwards. As you improve through this stretch, you can drop down lower, get rid of the block. You can always use something here to hold on to. I had something in front of me, I could use it. Imagine this as a fixed position. I could grab that and I could use that to lift my chest or focus on pushing my butt behind me. So I push my butt back, lift my chest up. Cool, last 10 seconds. Lifting the chest, pushing the butt back, making sure we're feeling pure stretch, no digging in. Boom, that's your 10 minutes for today. Well done everyone for completing your 10 minutes for today, your 10 minutes for sitting positions. I hope you feel awesome after doing that. Remember, you can always come back to this video anytime and give it another go. Most important when you're within the stretches is you're comfortable, right? So get some mats, get some blocks, get some cushions, do whatever it takes to feel a little bit more comfortable. The last thing you want is you're in a stretch and you've got, your foot digging into the floor and it's just, you can't relax into the position.